What's up, guys? Thanks for watching the podcast. I truly appreciate it. I would really appreciate a like and a subscribe from you. That helps the YouTube channel grow. And I wanted to drop in and remind you one more thing. If you have any friends, family, or anyone you know looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, please have them call me. Get in touch with me via email at blake@blakebaker.net or on Instagram at blakebakerrealestate. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Under Contract podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Under Contract podcast, episode number 25. I have my first ever returning guest, Mr. Zach Estrada, a.k.a. Z-Money.
Hello.
He was on the second episode, and here we are in the 25th episode, a little over a year later. The studio's obviously a little bit different than it was last time, and what do you think about the changes, man? What do you think about the lights? The lights put you under pressure?
Dude, not at all, man. I feel like way more comfortable coming here now. Just like, man, I'm a vet when it comes to this. And the lights are just more professional, man. And I want to congratulate you being on the 25th. You have a lot of these podcasts that come out and they'll cancel after their 5th or 6th episode. And it's just like you've kept it going. So congrats, man.
Yeah, I tried it. I kind of hit a lull recently where I'm like, I got so busy doing my other videos for like Instagram and stuff. And then when I get busy with work, it's hard to actually, and I just kind of forget, but I would like to be more consistent than I am. But then again, like we were saying earlier, it's like, I get to a point where I'm like, I have to really go fishing for people who I think are interesting and who want to come on. And, you know, I don't want to just have anybody on here that's going to come and talk about life. Like we said, like
talk about life.
I want my listeners to hear some value, and, I want it to be, you know, a good podcast. So,
for sure.
And like we were saying on the phone yesterday, I've had to learn how to podcast because there's so many podcasts now where it'd be like me asking you a question and then you're in the middle of your answer and I'm like, but this, and I'm interrupting you the whole time and it's unlistenable.
Yep.
So anyway, man, let's just go ahead and dive right into our little checklist we have here. That I've never had a dude plan more for a podcast than you. So you're ready to deliver for our listeners, man.
I am. I always am, man. I always am.
So the love for New York City. So I'll just say I just went to New York on my honeymoon.
Yes.
I'm sure you saw some of my posts. Of course. I didn't know what to expect. I'm not a big beach guy.
Okay.
And when people were like, "Oh, y'all, where are you going for your honeymoon?" I said New York City. It was a very mixed reaction.
Okay.
It was like some people were like, "Oh, that's cool," and then like my mom was like, why? For what? And I'm like, like I said, I'm not really a beach guy. Like I get bored. So I want a place that obviously it's got a reputation, and I'd never been to anything like seen a city that big. It's just blocks and blocks. It just never ends. It's insane.
And you were there when that whole moon thing happened? The smoke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, my feedback about that whole deal was, I mean, I spent Thursday through Sunday there. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The food was amazing. The people were super cool.
Yeah. Contrary
to what I was told, I was always told everybody there is going to be rude and like snarky, but everybody was super. They're just in their own lane, dude. They don't have time to like small talk with everybody. So they're just in their own lane doing their own thing. But went to a Yankees game. It's a very romantic city. And
yes,
like for the honeymoon, dude, it's like there's a song called New York City by the Chainsmokers. Mm-hmm. And every time I hear it still, I like literally get emotional because it's like I think about me and my wife on our honeymoon and
nice.
How romantic it was. Dude, it was amazing. I can't wait to go back. I want to go back during like Christmas time.
You sound like a certified married man.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Did the Yankees win?
They got their ass beat by the White Sox.
I think you had texted me talking shit. But no, the love for New York, it came from when I was growing up. Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2 were a very big part of like my movie watching. I would watch that movie over and over. Okay, so you'll get this story. And soundtracks were very big at that time too.
If you want to bend the mic up, it's like, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my uncle, I was over at his house or whatever, and he was like, "Hey, would you ever like to go to New York?" I was like, "Yeah, I would love to go to New York." And I had to be at least 12 years old. And this is another story for another time, but Packers were always like my heart and soul. Like nothing ever overtook that. But at the time I was an Indians fan. I never gradually got into the Astros for some whatever reason. I was just always playing Little League with the Indians. That was my team name. So the Indians, that was just my team that I watched. Manny Ramirez, Jim Tomei, all them. He's like, would you ever want to go to New York? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go to New York. So we ended up planning a trip to New York, and we ended up staying at the hotel, the Plaza Hotel, where Home Alone 2, that movie was. So as a kid, like you got to think I'm 11, 12 years old. I think it's like '02, like right after 9/11. You're thinking this is all fantasy. You don't, but when you get there and you're seeing this stuff, you're like, whoa, this is actually like, this is the real deal. This is awesome.
It's surreal.
So we went to there. We went to the Trump Towers, the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, and we went to a Yankees game. And I was familiar with the Yankees, but it wasn't like a love or a hate thing. I just never was really into them. And we went to a game. I saw Derek Jeter hit a home run. They had played the Mariners, and that's funny because they lost when you went. They lost when I went.
Damn.
And but ever since then, I remember my uncle had bought me like all this Yankees like equipment or whatever, like hats, jerseys, and all this stuff. And I was like, man, this is awesome. So coming from that love of New York, after we had gotten back, I had started watching like a lot of Yankees games, but still an Indians fan at the time. And I can't remember. It was probably like 05, 06. I didn't know what, and you'll know what this means, I didn't know what rebuilding a franchise was. I thought once you had the players on your team, that team just stayed good forever. And it's like, no, this is a business at the end of the day. So players are coming and going and getting traded away. So when the players got all traded away from Cleveland, I'm like, man, this is it. Like, I'm a Yankees fan, and it's just going to be Packers and Yankees, and this is it. And I had still supported the Astros at the time, but I'm not a bandwagon fan. Like, I stick with the team. So once when the Astros were coming up and they won that World Series in 2017, it was a rivalry. So I'm like, man, it sucks, but I have to break away from the Astros, and I just got to stick with the Yankees. Even though the Astros, and I will admit, because I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but the Astros do have our number. But I would think that's where my love for New York came from, and just New York hip hop, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, Biggie, Ja Rule.
Oh, man.
A lot of people hate on Ja Rule. No, I was a Ja Rule fan for sure. I'm glad you said that. And just the love for it. I even got the tattoo with the Statue of Liberty with the Yankee symbol underneath, and it's just what it was, man. And I've been a Yankees New York fan ever since, and that's how it started. Was my uncle, R.I.P. Uncle Omar, but that's how my love for New York started, and I've been a fan ever since.
Dude, I've been listening to that I'm From New York by Ja Rule and Fat Joe and like all them.
Yes.
And like now that I've been there, I can't even imagine what it's like to like grow up there. That must have been crazy.
The Bronx, and that was right by Yankee Stadium, and that's crazy because I think it had to be after. See, here's what I think about New York, and I'm glad you said you had liked it. I've been to New York 5 times. I enjoyed it the 2 out of the 5 times that I went. The other 3 times that I went, I was probably like in my 20s, like 24, 25,
You're
27.
hungover the whole time?
Dude, no, not hungover. Just, it just wasn't the same experience as a kid.
Oh, everything's magical when you're a little kid.
You know, okay. Yeah, I just think New York is just a magical place. And when you're going as a kid, you're just like, whoa, what's this?
Yeah.
What's that? Speaking of magical, I'd never been to Disneyland, but I heard that's like different when you're a kid going.
100%, dude. I saw this video the other day that it's this like super right wing guy on TikTok. I forgot his name, but he was like, "Can you believe there's adults that go to Disney World with no kids? They're just adults and they go. That should be a mental illness." And I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far with it, but that was hilarious.
Yeah, no. That is very, very funny. But back to that song. When I came back from New York, I think that's why I connected with those New York songs so much, and I was such a fan because I'm from New York, New York, and I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. And I would actually that's one of the top. I don't think it gets any better than that as far as like how the New York songs go, because that's
my favorite one.
That's your favorite one.
100%.
That's my favorite one too. That's cool, man. Man, you on this? Man, you could come join us, man. Come join us. We need more fans, man. The more fans, the better.
The Astros is like the one team in my Houston like sports fandom career.
Okay.
Where we're the shit right now.
Yeah.
So I got to ride this out. But I think it's kind of cool in a way that I got to see New York for the first time as a full grown adult. Because like it was crazy. We landed in LaGuardia, the airport, and then we came like through Queens and all that, and then we hopped over onto the island, and then you like go through this weird tunnel and you pop out and you're just in Manhattan.
Yes.
And then you look up and you're like, oh, that's the Empire State Building. Like that's I've been seeing that on TV since I could ever remember. Like it's great. And so I'm like I wouldn't call myself a history buff, but I think like history is cool. Like I could watch any documentary on the History Channel, and everything up there is so old. Yeah. Tell me like all the buildings. Okay. So like, for example, the other night I was watching like when World War II was over in 1945, Times Square was like a shit show. Like everybody was like partying and everything. So I looked at the video of that and I'm like, dude, it looks, minus the big screens that are up now, it looks exactly the same. Yeah. It's like that once they built a building out there, they're all connected. So they can't really tear one down. They just have to gut the inside of it and then fix the frame or whatever they got to fix. And then they'll, hey, it was an apartment. Now they gut it. Now it's a yoga studio. Or now it's like a grocery store. Like the weirdest things are inside like buildings that you wouldn't think.
Dude, yes.
And like how there's like elevator shafts that just open onto the street. Like you'd be walking up to your apartment and like you're on the sidewalk outside. You press a button, the elevator opens, you go up to your apartment. It's totally alien and foreign to how we live. And like the bodegas, like you walk in there, they have it's like a little convenience store, but they have a full breakfast buffet. They have they sell like little things of cereal that you can just eat on the go.
Yes. Delis on the side.
The bacon, egg, and cheese bagels. Had one of those with the raisin bagel with bacon, egg, and cheese. Oh my Lord, boy.
What about pizza? I know y'all got pizza.
So I had pizza, but that was one thing whenever I go back, I want to go to like a legit, like Joe's is one I heard. We didn't get to go there. I just had pizza at my hotel and it was like authentic, but I wouldn't say it was like amazing.
Soho or Lombardi's pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, those two.
The best food I've had, I think there was Italian food. I had I had an Italian sub. The whole menu's in Italian. I just told the guy, I'm like, dude, I can't even read this menu, so can you just like suggest? He's like, oh, definitely the number 22. I was like, all right, bet, make that, dude. Gas, and then we went to Little Italy and had dinner. And I don't even like, I've said this a million times, I don't even like tomato sauce. Yeah. Like down here, I don't like it. I was literally eating it with a spoon. It was man. Have you ever had a Peroni?
No.
It's an Italian beer. Delicious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm about to try that out.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was, I definitely, like I said, I want to go back when it's like holiday time. I think that'd be magical.
Oh, dude. Yes. Yes. That's a dream of mine, too.
Who was on that? So, O2 Yankees.
O2 Yankees.
Let me think.
Chuck.
Chuck. Okay.
Chuck Knobloch.
I was going to say at third, Jeter.
Second base, Chuck Knobloch.
Okay. Jeter at short. Was it Paul O'Neill at first?
Paul O'Neill at outfield.
Who was at first?
First base was...
Dude, I'm pretty sure it was Paul O'Neill because Bernie Williams was in center.
Bernie Williams.
Hideki Matsui.
That was later.
Yeah.
Tino Martinez.
Yeah, that he was at first, right?
I think Tino Martinez was at. Hold on, I'm gonna check and see.
Jorge Posada at catcher.
Jorge Posada. Yeah, David Wells.
The hungover perfect game.
Orlando Hernandez.
Dude, I'm pretty sure Paul O'Neill was at first. What does it say?
Tino Martinez.
Oh, okay.
Tino Martinez.
Because Paul O'Neill, he must have been in right. Because I remember the game where he kept bobbling the ball and he kicked it in. You remember that?
Yes.
He kicked the ball.
Yes. Alfonso Soriano.
Okay, yeah.
God, it's just so many. Mike Mussina.
Yeah. Andy Pettit.
David Justice. God, I forgot about him. Andy Pettit.
Yeah.
Just great players. Mariano Rivera.
Obviously.
The greatest closer of all time.
But I remember like how you said like you didn't know sports was like a business.
Yes.
The first like big time where I was like, holy shit, is when Johnny Damon signed for the Yankees from Boston. I was like, wow.
I wasn't really a fan. I was like, dude, we don't want Boston people coming over.
Well, because
here.
he won the World Series with them and then came to the
Yes.
that right there. I was like, dude, there's no emotions here.
And you know what? I don't like to use this word, but I hate Boston so much. The Red Sox that like I don't care to go to Fenway Park. I probably never will. You know what? I never will go to Fenway Park. I just won't, dude. It's just I just don't want to be around all them Boston people in that park.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's so, the cool thing I will say about Yankee Stadium is like I wouldn't say I don't hate the Yankees. Like if the Astros sucked and it was like the Yankees versus whoever, I'd probably be pulling for the Yankees.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was cool to walk in. I went to the new Yankee Stadium, right? So you went to the old Yankee Stadium. That was probably cool to see. But like I walked in and like going down the little hallway to go out to where our seats was.
Yeah,
it's like a mural of Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Bro, it like gave me goosebumps.
Yeah,
it was
I'm telling
crazy.
you, man, it's history.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I've never met somebody who ever hated on Babe Ruth. You just give them the respect, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, it's like being an American. Like no matter who's in office, you have to have respect.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like, and then our forefathers, like it's like he's like a forefather and built the way for these guys now to get
Mount Rushmore.
Paid.
Yep.
Paid.
Yep.
So
for sure.
So any additional comments on New York?
Any additional comments on New York? No, I love the city. I love the people, but like I said, it's not as enjoyable when I go now. Like I said, I think I experienced that like young. I think now, man, if I'm ever just gonna go and take a trip somewhere, I'll probably just Atlanta is like my new New York.
Have you ever been to Chicago?
No.
I want to go.
I think I'm gonna get shot when I go over there.
Well,
man.
if you stay up on the north, like in downtown, like by Lake Michigan, I think you're safe. But yeah, on the south side, it's bad.
Okay. Well,
because I've YouTube now. What I'll do is like, I would think it'd be interesting to go to whatever city. Like for New York, I was watching YouTube videos for weeks beforehand, so I kind of had an idea of like what to do and like more or less avoid the mistakes.
Yes.
There's videos like top 10 mistakes people make when they go to New York the first time, and one of them that I learned the hard way, that I knew I was like, I need to take comfortable shoes because it's a shitload of walking.
Yeah.
But bro, what they don't tell you, anywhere there's a restroom that you're at, go pee. Because they don't have restrooms.
Yeah.
Because homeless people will be in there sleeping or shooting up drugs or whatever. So they just don't have them. So like there were so many times where I'm like about to bust and I'm just like, I couldn't find I had to go back to my hotel. Oh, that's not something they don't tell you, but
that's good. That's good you looked that up because, like I said, man, we're older adults now. People like, oh, you're supposed to be like a tough guy and blah blah. Dude, I'm not in my 20s no more. When I go on a trip, I want to make sure I'm safe. So that's another story from another time. But when I went to Detroit, I made sure I got the nice and safest hotel in a good part of Detroit. And I went to where I was going to get to, downtown Detroit, and I didn't like fondle around the city. I went there and I came back and I did what I was supposed to do, and that's it.
No,
I'm not going to play with my life like that.
I definitely want to go see Chicago. I want to go. Wrigley would be cool to see, and just it's such a historic American city. I mean, it's the second biggest city, or I guess it'd be third behind New York and LA, and we're number 4, I think. But yeah, but anyway, man, number 2 here. This was kind of interesting, and I'm not gonna lie, caught me off guard a little bit.
Oh shoot!
Having a new respect for married women.
Oh yeah. This is a good one. So this is what's gonna like lead into that. So all my friends throughout my life, man, you never really have like. There's a lot of egos and stuff, so nobody's going to be like, "Oh, I look up to you," or I look up to this person. We're just like all on the same pedestal as far as equalness. But I'll say like around 2013, 2014, like I knew success would come. I just didn't know like what year it would come. And the first friend that I would say that I started seeing like would manifest things was Derek Busa, and I remember he was working at the batting cages. I remember he was working at the batting cages for the longest time. Like, dude, when are you going to do this? He's like, don't worry, man. Don't worry. That's what I'm going to do. And he would tell me what he was going to do. And then he started working at the plant. Then he told me he wanted to have a house. And, we would go out and we would talk about adult stuff, like as far as like like talk about life, but no, like just good stuff that we wanted to improve on that I didn't really talk about that with the rest of my friends. And he was talking about how, he one day like wanted to get married and wanted to have kids, wanted to have a family, wanted to have a house. Well, I started seeing like all this stuff like that he was talking about just like build up. So I wasn't on that same like mind frame at the time. I didn't care to really like get married or have a family or whatever, but I did want to do better for myself, and I started making improvements at that. And watching him do what he had to do inspired me to, become a better person. And he had recently asked me to be a part of his wedding. That the wedding had already passed, but that was the first time that I was actually like a part of a wedding, like groomsman or whatever. And when I'm watching them like get married, I'm watching the pastor, like, they do the vows or whatever. And I'm like, man, this is the real deal. Like, this is crazy. But it goes to the fact that like, as married women, there was a time to where, like, say you're at a hospital or something, it just kind of like threw me off a little bit. Like, say if somebody's like, oh, hey, I'm here to see my boyfriend, the doctor will go, oh, okay, cool. And then if the girl goes, hey, I'm here to see my husband, it's like they treat you in like a different way. It's crazy. I don't know what it is, but
well, your family,
exactly.
You're locked in. A girlfriend could be here today, gone tomorrow.
Exactly. So the reason why I respect married women is because they are giving up that life that they don't have to give up, but they are choosing to give up to be a part of a family. And I respect married women as far when it does come to families, because I have yet to see a married woman who is not great to their kids. And I feel like they are always there for the kids. I've never really seen a married woman who is not there for the kids. And I know sometimes it can be hard for the husband because he's always working, stressed out. He's the provider. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I just look at married women as like higher up than what I used to. I know it kind of shocked you a little bit, but I just respect them. And
it comes with age, man. It comes with maturity.
There you go. You just said it. Maturity.
Mm-hmm. You start to see the value in being married. Like that's right where I started to see it. I was like, huh. So like say, when I was still single, I'm like, say I do just live like single forever. And then then what? Like what about when you're 70? What about when you're 80 and you need someone to take care of you, and you got like maybe a sibling, but they're living their life. They got their kids or whatever. Dude, life is tough. Like, being single and like going through tough times single sucks. Like, I remember there would be times where I was like going through whatever it was at the time, and just having no one to like have my back.
Yeah.
It was rough at times. I mean, not all the time. There's definitely pluses to being single. Like, you could take off and go to Atlanta tomorrow, and no one's going to tell you like,
oh yeah, no
one's, it's not all bad. But I'm just saying that the value is in that sacrifice. You have to give up. Like I always say, you can't get to the next level in your own life like chilling with the boys 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah,
it's too much distraction.
Yes.
And with that comes the drinking and the going out and who knows what else. And that's the thing about being single. It's very tough to stay on the track whenever you have so much freedom. And I do better when I have more structure. I still enjoy my freedom. I still like doing things by myself. I go to the gym. I like have I need my alone time.
Yes, for sure.
And
everyone
my
does.
wife is so understanding about that. She understands that like for me to be the best version of me, I got to go do that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why I love her so much, is because she doesn't put fences around me.
Yeah.
Like the moment I feel like I have fences or walls around me that are like not put there by me, I freak out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's pros and cons to everything, but I like looking on Instagram and seeing like girlfriends that I had in the past, like friends that I've had in the past, and knowing that they're protected. And it's like, man, that's cool. And that's why I have a respect for married women, because it's like they gave up that old lifestyle. Because I knew how they used to act, and now they're good. And it's like,
and they're not even the same person.
They're not the same person
if they have kids. I mean, guys and girls. And I think that's the value in like, dude. There's like a war on families. Like it's like a thing right now where, dude, if you look, like people are having half the amount of kids, divorces up. Like the core nuclear family of like what America used to be is going down, and we're having more fatherless children now than we've ever had. And I think the problem lies there in that, dude, if you don't have a dad to check your ass like I did, and like I think you probably did,
I did.
They don't learn a level of respect that it takes to integrate into society and be successful. If you don't have any level of respect to anybody, you're going to get ostracized quick. We're going to be like, that guy's a loose cannon. We can't be having him around. Or you'll just never get to where you could have been. So that's why it's so important to have like a strong fatherly figure in your life to check your ass when you're being an idiot.
Yep.
Because, dude, humans are, we come out raw, dude. We come out empty, like, what do you call it, a blank slate. Yeah. So, like, if you don't have a dad to, when you mess up a little bit or you overstep and disrespect your mom, I had a guy tell me one time, a guy I worked with, he was like, he's a Hispanic gentleman from El Salvador. And he said, one time my son talked back to my wife. He said, I slapped him in the face and I said, not only are you disrespecting your mom, you're disrespecting my wife.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. But the kid needed to hear that. Mm-hmm. Like, what if there's no dad around and the wife's just like, honey, calm down. Like, he'll never learn. So
no,
anyway,
exactly,
that was just a rant that I have these thoughts in my head all the time, man. I go deep with this stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. But shout out to the married women, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to the married women.
So the vets you looked up to when it came to working out. I was curious because I'm going to know some of these names.
Oh, yeah, you are. Man, this is the beginning to when I started working out. I had tried so many times to work out, and it just wasn't working.
At what age?
People think, oh, man, you pulling the years on me. I'm good at this one.
Because you've always worked out ever since I've known you.
Yeah, well, I would say since we saw each other at 24.
Right. We were young. We were 8, 9 years old when we first met.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were super young. I would say around. I had tried in 08, 09, 2010, but like all those like 6 times per year, and you try and get it, and you just aren't. And I remember one time, man, this is a funny story. And I talked to him personally about this, but now it's going to be open to the public. But I was like, man, 24 is right there. I was living with my parents at the time. I was like 21, 22 years old. So I was like, I'm going to go up to 24, and I have a feeling if I pay for a membership, I will be in the habit of working out. So it was 2012. So I was 22 years old. And I go up to 24. I see this big old dude. This is Gus. Okay. So I go sit at the table, and he's like, man, dude, he pitches me like the highest price. And then, of course, he sells me, dude, because I'm like intimidated. I'm this like scrawny dude with this just muscular looking dude. And he's like, all right, $39.99 a month. You're paying this initiation, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, cool. I'll go ahead and sign up. Well, dude, I just took off. Like, as soon as I got that membership, dude, like I was in there for like the first like 3 months. Then I started getting into like pre-workout, creatine, protein, just all this stuff. And next thing you know, man, I was in there 6 days a week for like the next like 6 or 7 months. And dude, I was like, when I tell you, man, I was getting like attention that like I didn't even like know existed. And women, men, they can relate, but I'm saying like when you're coming from somebody who's not getting like no attention at all to like, oh my God, where is this coming from? Your ego is definitely going to come in. I remember we had talked about this on the last podcast, putting your ego in check. I didn't know how to put my ego in check at 22 years old.
Hell
dude.
no.
I didn't know how. So I'm thinking I'm just like this whole new person. I ain't got it. Cause I would look up to like some friends at that time. Now I'm like, dude, I'm on my own. I can do this stuff on my own. So I was working out, and as soon as you know it, I got a job. I think Gus had hired me at 24, and I did an okay job for like the first 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to, I was working at HEB at the time. I'm just going to work at HEB. And I'm like, you know what? And then I remember I made like my first sale there, and I'm like, dude, I'm actually good at like doing this sales stuff. Like, let me continue on. dude, I ended up doing the sales stuff and then got promoted to manager and then was doing, I think, was Keegan doing 24 a little bit at the time, or was he still the car salesman?
He worked at 24 until about 2011, I want to say.
So that was right when I came in.
Because I think, him and JR, I think JR like helped him segue into the car business, and then it was history from there. But.
Okay. So when I got like brought up to do the manager stuff, Kelly and Gus, man, I couldn't ask for better coworkers or better management than I had from them. Best management group ever, and it was just cool because I worked well under them, and I looked at what they did. So I'm like, okay, I need to do what they're doing, and I was never as good of a salesman as them, but I was a great salesman, and I would go to different 24s, and then it just kind of took off after that, and I can honestly say we're in 2023, so that's 11 years of working out. 11 years of working out, I've never gone more than 2 weeks without doing an exercise. And I see so many people, man, they start off with this fitness thing or I'm going to lose this weight. And then when they lose the weight, they just stop. It's like, dude, this ain't something you just do and you stop. This is a lifestyle. Exactly. This is a lifestyle. And I love it, man. It changed my life for the better. It just like confidence, more structure to like what you need to do. It makes you become more disciplined, and
it helps you build momentum.
Because you can add some stuff into this, man. I know you're consistent too.
Tell me when you go off the rails for a little while, it just that momentum builds, and the next thing you know, you're like just doing horrible. But then you get back in the gym, and then okay, well, since I worked out, I guess I'm gonna eat decent, and then you just build momentum the other way. But I don't see how people just don't ever work out. Like, I have to have some sort of release, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, that's rather than like drinking or something like that. Like, that's my thing. Like, go just get the demons out in the gym, and then like the rest of the day, I'm good.
Well, let me ask you this: how many times did you start before you finally started being consistent
at the gym?
Yeah.
So dude, from age 10 to 15, I was like chunky, you know, like I was like the fat, funny kid.
I don't remember you being chunky, but
I weighed, so when I was 16, I weighed like 210, but I was like 5'9" and like no muscle.
Okay.
And, so what happened was I was like, decided I want to lose weight. I was like, I want to lose weight. And then I was like, how am I going to do this? And then the basketball team at First Baptist, literally you could just sign up and go play. And we had this like hardcore military style coach that would just run the shit out of us, dude. Like bad. Like off season was, it was crazy. Like looking back on it, like I was eating like 1,200 calories a day and burning like probably 3,500 a day. I lost 40 pounds in 6 weeks.
Wow.
I went from a 36-inch waist to a 28-inch waist.
You were 36-inch waist?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. So I did that, and then I was just skinny, like skin and bones. So then I started like lifting, like when I was probably 17, and I was pretty consistent, dude. Like there was maybe like a couple month period when I was like 19, 20, where I just kind of was like partying and being an idiot. That
like we all were,
where I didn't work out as much, but then I hopped right back on when I was like 21. I got pretty lean, and like I was like 180, like kind of pretty strong.
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah, and then I'll kind of like go up and down, but I never completely quit working out. And then in like 2018, 19 is when I got really into running, just because I got tired of like going to the gym and doing the same thing every day. So I was like, I'm gonna get into running, and I found that like mentally, it was like a mental workout. Because you feel like you're done, and dude, you're not done. Like you can go miles further.
Oh, for sure.
It's insane. So I got like pretty skinny at that point, and then decided that I was like, okay, I think I'm a little bit too skinny.
Yeah.
And then, but when I get into a relationship, dude, I just gained 10 pounds. I don't know what it is.
That's everybody, man.
But right now I've got a good, consistent routine going where I'm doing cardio every day. Like you've been, dude, Stu's lost what, 20 pounds?
Yeah. 210 to what are we at? We at 188. Oh no, 180. Actually, it went down. I need to post it, but 185.
Yeah. But I've been doing more like zone 2, like low intensity cardio, because they say that's what burns fat. So
yeah,
we'll see. But yeah, dude, I just don't know how you could live your life without like go to the office and then sit in a chair all day and then come home and sit in a chair and watch TV. How do you sleep? I wouldn't be able to sleep. I can barely sleep now.
Dude, I can't sleep either, man. I have trouble sleeping, man. I have to like, take a sleeping pill or something just to knock me out. But real quick on that losing weight thing that I want to tell the people real quick. The one thing that I've been doing differently that I haven't done in a while is not eat past 9 p.m.
I thought it was 8 p.m.
It can be 8 or 9. I've just been doing 9, and it's been working for me.
Like, what would you used to eat? Because I get this thing where it's like 10 o'clock, and I'm like sitting there, and I get this second wind where I'm like tired at like 6 or 7. I'm like,
Yep.
and then I get a second wind, and then I'm up till midnight. But I get this thing at like 10 p.m. where I'm like, ooh, I need a little treat.
Sandwich, hot Cheetos, fast food, and it's like I've been cutting that out. Oh, sodas.
Ooh.
Dude, I'm a soda guy, man.
I drink those Zevia sodas. Have you tried those?
Nuh-uh.
The root beer is legit. I
Really?
like it.
I'm a
yeah.
Pib Extra guy. It's like Dr. Pepper, but on steroids.
So much sugar.
So much sugar. Mountain Dew, all that stuff. So much sugar. But
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew, man. That's that white people stuff.
I haven't had I can't tell you the last time I had a Mountain Dew.
Really? Were you a Mountain Dew guy, though?
No, I mean, if I'm going to have an ice cold soda, it's a Coca-Cola.
Oh, dude, you can't go wrong with
Can't
Coke.
beat it.
You can't go wrong with Coke, especially vanilla Coke.
That's why when I was training for my half marathon, I would go run like 10, 12 miles in the heat. And then I would be so depleted, I would go to the gas station and get a 22 ounce like fountain Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And just drink. Because it's like after you run, you want to put the glycogen back in your muscle.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that's what that does. And I'm like, this is my one chance. I'm drinking this.
Yeah. But I forgot to tell the people, but yeah, not eating past 9 p.m., doing the bike. And then I've been doing a little basketball. Basketball is where just shooting. I'm not talking about like a pickup game or nothing. Just shooting, running around, getting the ball, shooting again, sitting in the sauna, and then going out. And I was talking about you, but you have to stay at it because if you mess up one day, it just all comes back. But it feels totally good being lean again. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna probably do that. And then when winter comes around November, that's when I usually start going heavy. So.
It's hard to find something sustainable because when I got real skinny in 2018-19, I was doing like an hour of cardio in the morning, and then I would run 2 miles, lift, run 2 miles, go home. And I was burning 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
And I just got to a point where I'm like, this can't last. Like, I can't just keep doing this. So now I've found something where I can do it every day, and I do 30 to 50 minutes on the treadmill. It's easier on your joints. It's easier on your knees, your muscles. You can still do legs because your legs aren't beat to shit from running.
Yeah.
And I just find it to be something that I think I could do for years on end rather than like we did like a fitness challenge. It's like basically you get points for heart rate zones.
Yeah.
And it was like me, Sam Hargrave, Kean, a bunch of other people. And it was me and Sam just trading. Like I'd do my morning cardio, I'd be in the lead, and then he'd do his afternoon stuff and be in the
lead.
Bro, it got to a point to where I was just on the elliptical for 2-3 hours a day.
The elliptical, man.
Dude.
Inspired me.
But it was a 30-day sprint. And then after that, I guess I kept running, but it was like way less. And I think that's what made me kind of burn out.
Yeah.
And, but bro, I was losing maybe a pound a week, and I was already like kind of skinny. I was eating velvet taco every night for dinner, 4 tacos, like eating calories and burning all of them plus some and still losing weight, which for me it's pretty crazy.
I got to give you a call. You made the elliptical cool again, man.
Dude,
you made the elliptical
nice,
cool
right?
again. Because at first I was just kind of like, I'm not getting on that. And then I come to the gym and I see you doing it. And then we get to talk. You're like, dude, the elliptical. Then I start getting on it. I had Blake Baker, man.
I had no choice because I would run every day, and my shins
That's what it was.
And I was like, dude, I've got to get my heart rate up, but I can't. I've got to give my legs a rest to where I can run. And the elliptical was the answer.
That's awesome, man.
Because the bike, I never could get my heart rate up unless it was like the Aerodyne where you're like all out sprint.
Yeah.
But I needed something where I could be like 140 beats a minute for like an hour.
Yeah.
Elliptical.
That's awesome, man. Because the elliptical gets such a bad rep, dude. Like, oh, man, you're a guy. Why are you doing the elliptical? But I was like, nah, dude, the elliptical's cool, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's either that or the stairs. But my knees, I don't know if that shit's good for your knees.
I did the stair the other day, and I'm just like, I'd rather see. I'm a bike guy, so I'd rather do the bike. And the bike, that's what I see. But I'll get on the elliptical every now and then. So
you should get an elliptical tattoo.
I should. I don't know where I'd put it though. I think I ran out of space.
So tell us about the backstory of all your tattoos.
And the backstory of all my tattoos. I think it'd be like.
Hold on. Let me ask one question
Go
before,
ahead.
because I know you have a Green Bay Packers tattoo, and I thought about this question earlier, but forgot. Where did you become a fan of Green Bay and why? What's the story behind that?
That's a good question. I remember my dad in like '96 when they were playing the Patriots on their Super Bowl. He's like, "Hey, we're going to a Super Bowl party."
Brett Favre.
And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I remember watching like a little bit of that Super Bowl, but not really being like excited when they won. And that next year, like in '97, I was watching a little bit, kind of getting into it, still not a fan. I wasn't a certified Green Bay Packers fan until I would say about 1998. And I remember watching, the most recent one that I remember watching was, it was a playoff game between the Packers and the 49ers, is when the 49ers had Terrell Owens.
Damn.
And they had ended up losing in the divisional round. I believe it was either to Steve Young or Jeff Garcia. I want to say it was Steve Young, but I might be wrong. But in 1999, that's when I started like, okay, how does these divisions work? Okay, NFC North, how does the wild card work? And dude, it was just straight Green Bay from there on out. Like it was no other team. Houston didn't have a team.
Right.
So it's like, okay, Green Bay Packers it is. And even when the Texans came,
I've never been on board, dude.
I've never been on board. The only Houston team, not to get too everywhere, but the only Houston team that I have been on board with is the Houston Rockets, and that's it. But when it came to the Packers, man, it was Packers all day. Nothing. It was never me dropping them off or nothing. I've just been a Packers fan ever since. And the Brett Favre days, and then after Brett Favre is Aaron Rodgers. Now we have Jordan Love, and it kind of makes me a little mad when people are like, "Oh, you're not a." You're going to be a Jets fan now. I was like, dude, no. Y'all said the same thing when Favre left, and I was going to be a Jets fan because Favre went to the Jets. Like, no, I stick with my team, and that's just how it is. But
you mean Viking? You went to the Vikings, I thought.
No, Jets and then Vikings. Jets for 1 year.
He did?
Yep.
Damn, I don't know.
Yep. 1 year.
I forgot. I must have forgot.
I'll have to show you. But yeah, he went to the Jets for 1 year and then went to the Vikings after that, which was kind of harsh because like that's our rivalry is the Vikings and the Lions, the Bears. The Bears are our number one rivalry.
Yeah.
Chicago. But yeah, it was just my dad, man. My dad was just all Green Bay, so I was like, all right, let me follow in his footsteps. It's Green Bay from here on out, and dude, that's my heart and soul, man. That's my baby right there. Is Green Bay, man.
I would definitely say it's probably the most storied franchise because they won the first Super Bowl, right?
Yes, it's the Chiefs.
And tell me, why would anybody else know about Green Bay, Wisconsin if it wasn't for the Packers?
Oh, nobody else.
Have you ever been to Lambeau?
Yes. Yeah.
So it looks like it's in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yes.
There's like little houses around it.
Dude, I had a panic attack when I got to Lambeau Field. I'm like, this is real. I've been watching this since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Dude, it was crazy.
And it's crazy that they still have outdoor stadiums up there, man.
Yes.
It's gnarly cold out there.
Yes. And they say like when we make the playoffs and we get home field advantage, it's not really an advantage to us because we're still having to play in the cold. And it's like,
Dude, and I always say, like, my friend Zane got drafted by the Cleveland Browns, and he was a kicker in Cleveland. I'm like, that's got to be one of the worst places to kick because you have that Lake Erie wind and ice and snow, that lake effect snow, and you're outside. It's like you want to be in, like, a Minnesota or a Houston where you have an indoor stadium, Dallas.
Worst places to kick and one of the worst teams to be on organizations.
Rough. Where quarterbacks go to die.
Where quarterbacks go to die. See, man, you know what's up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Green Bay story, man.
Okay, but yeah, anyway, you're back to your tattoos.
Oh, back to my tattoos. I got a lot, man. I would start off with we got one, my first one with the it's kind of hard, but the people know. You got the cross. That just has to do with God and Jesus. You got one with my nickname, Z Money. You got one with a little skull right here. It kind of looks like a demon because sometimes, I guess, in the past, I used to think it. Now this doesn't go right with the cross, but I used to think there was like a demon inside me. I get a little crazy sometimes. And the funny story about that one is when I got that tattoo, dude, I was having like nightmares for like 4 days straight, and I'm like, I don't know if that was a good idea to get that tattoo because I think you're just constantly like looking at it. You got one on my hand that's a watch. This is the one that I love and I still have yet to like conquer, but don't waste time. Try and you can help me out right here. Try and make your time valuable.
Yeah, I mean, your time is the most valuable thing you have.
Time is the most valuable thing we have.
It's the only thing you can't get back.
Yeah, exactly. There's some tattoos people might understand. I did have to show love to Texas. You got Texas with a Benjamin Franklin with a bandana around him. Crazy story about this is that was the time I was reading a lot of like financial books. So I was like, man, let me get something that has to do with like money. My newest one is Fast Life. I feel like we live a fast life because I feel like if we're slowing down or just being lazy, it's just like we're not doing anything. And as much as I hate it and I wish time would go by slow, time moves fast, man. We live a fast life.
It goes faster as you get older.
It goes faster as you get older, and it is what it is. Of course, you got like the New York tattoo. You got a W right here. People think that has to do. I joke with people. People are like, oh, you got a Walgreens? I was like, yeah, man, I love Walgreens. This is a Walgreens tattoo.
I thought it was Washington Nationals.
Well, it has to do with my favorite player at the time was Bryce Harper. Then he got traded. I'm like, man, this tattoo doesn't mean nothing now.
Damn.
I got Central Park on my back. Not a lot of people see that one because I'm never really like taking pictures of my back. My chest is pretty much just like a freestyle, has like a little money sign on there. You got 713 right here and Green Bay. And you got, and then two more. You got, I lose track of where they're at, man. You got Freddy Krueger right here. Freddy Krueger was a very, one of my favorite horror characters growing up. And then you have Jason over here on the right side. I love that one. And
no Michael Myers.
No Michael Myers. I wasn't a Michael Myers guy, man.
My dad used to scare the hell out of me. Oh my god.
Really?
Yes, dude. I used to be terrified of Michael Myers.
Oh man, me and my brother used to scare people with
Michael Myers and Leatherface.
Oh, dude, Leatherface was
freaks me out.
No, Leatherface still.
I watched the new Texas Chainsaw a while back, where they go to that movie set town.
Yep,
dude,
the one on Netflix.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it still gets to me to this day, man. What was your favorite one? Now that you think about it,
favorite like horror movie?
No, favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
I mean, I've only ever seen the original one from like the 70s, and my dad used to tell us, okay, so we have a ranch up by Huntsville, and obviously the prison's in Huntsville, you know?
Yeah.
And we'd be on the way up there, and he'd be like, oh yeah, y'all know Leatherface escaped from Huntsville this weekend.
What?
And we'd be like 8, 9 years old, dude, like freaking out. Like I used to hate going up there because I was so scared. But
you got to see the one from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003, the one with Jessica Biel in it.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's a good one. That one was probably my favorite one.
Dude, what is the deal with all the scary movies now? Like my wife loves scary movies, but I feel like every scary movie that comes out nowadays is nothing but like Exorcist and like demon possession and like,
because that's the only one that's like really scary.
Yeah, you can't really do like a serial killer now. It's not scary anymore, right?
Yeah, no, you can't.
Or it's like been beaten to death, like beating a dead horse or something.
Yeah. Are you familiar with A24 Productions or no? Mm-mm. They just came out with the movie, and supposedly that one, I think it's like Talk to Me or Talk About Me, something like that. But I heard that one was really, really good. I refuse to watch any like A24 like horror films.
Or like Saw.
Saw was crazy. My brother got traumatized by that. Dude,
it's just too much.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brutal.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
But I don't know, like my favorite series now that I'm an adult is Halloween.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But tell me how this dude walks around and never runs at all and catches everybody who's running.
It doesn't make any sense, man. I get tired of them. It's just die. Mine's, I would say, is like Chucky.
Yeah.
I'm a Chucky guy.
Dude, you know what's... This is so sad to say, but unless a movie is like banger, like really good, like because of TikTok and like my phone and stuff, I cannot pay attention. Like we were watching 300 the other night, and like it just went into like this weird part, and I just completely lost interest and turned it off.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to say you turned it off or you went back and got on your phone.
Well, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was like this part where I was like, this is stupid. And then I just got on my phone.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because what I do now is I just put my phone on the charger and I just try my best to just focus. Like I was watching for the first time. Have you seen The Sopranos?
No.
I just started watching The Sopranos.
I need to because I love Goodfellas and Casino and all those.
That's crazy because they bring up that movie in the series. But no, I watched 2 episodes of Sopranos and I loved it. And I'm going to continue on with the series. But I put my phone away. Don't get me wrong. There was a time where I paused it. I'm on my phone for 30 minutes. Okay, I'll put it away. And I'm like, dude, I can get this done. Just let me put the phone away.
Yeah. But if I'm watching, like the other night, we watched that Johnny Manziel documentary.
I loved it.
I didn't even think about my phone. Like if it's something that I like, I'm good. And another thing with me, I have a really hard time watching anything fiction. Like, if it didn't really happen, or if it's not like a documentary about something that's real in real life, I lose interest. I can't just, like I said, dude, 300, that's supposed to be like a legendary movie. And halfway through it, I just was like, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard people say that before. I think it's more of an adult thing. Like the older we get, the more it's just TV. But yeah, no, I've heard that before. If it's fiction, okay, this ain't real, blah, 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 whatever. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What you're saying. So,
but all right, the last topic on your list here, getting baptized and how to become a better person every single day.
Yeah. So, I would like to say every one of us, we commit sin. We're not the best. There was I wasn't really, or I still am, but I do say my prayers, but I'm not really a churchgoer. But, I watch a little Joel Osteen here on Sundays and stuff like that. But there was a point to where in the past, my mom, my dad, and my brother, they all got baptized, which my mom and dad were old enough to know what they were doing. My brother was not that old enough to know what he was doing. And don't get mad at me, but this is what I don't agree with, is I don't agree with people getting baptized at such a young age because you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
And I was the only one who kind of spoke out and says, I'm not getting baptized. And they were kind of mad at me a little bit, like, okay, the family's getting baptized. Why aren't you getting baptized? Like, because I'm not really sure if I want to go in this direction. I just wasn't. I'm not ready to, I believed in God, but I wasn't like 100% like, is this what I want to do? Is he our Lord and Savior and all that? Not to get too deep with y'all, but as time went on, God had saved me from a lot of things. And there was a lot of things that I asked God for, and he gave it to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it's time. So I was hitting up like pastors, and dude, a lot of them like wouldn't baptize me because they wanted me to be a member. Well,
Isn't that weird?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's weird.
That's where it gets real deep. You got me with the eyes, man. That's when it gets real deep and all that. But I ain't got to go into all that. But I contacted this one pastor. His name was John
Redmond?
And we had talked. Nah. And we had talked, and I can't remember what part of Houston it was. He's like, all right, man, I'm about it. Come meet me, and we'll have a talk. I was like, all right, cool. So I go meet him, big church. And we're talking. He's like, so why do you want to do this? And I'm like telling him all the reasons why. And he's like, well, all right, I'm just making sure. Like, come take a round. Like, we'll look at the church and stuff. And we started talking. And then, dude, I remember we read the Bible for like an hour. We were just like skipping through like scriptures and stuff. And he's like, all right, so you sure you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, I've been trying to like, I'm not really a churchgoer, but I'm ready. Like, and I was telling him all the things that I want to do. He's like, okay, I'm just making sure you understand what you're about to do, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, man, we did it. And it was a great feeling because it was like, I knew 100% of my heart, like I wanted to do it. As to being a kid, 8 years old, 9 years old, you're just like, I don't know. This kind of feels a little iffy. And doing that, and then I just started this probably about like a month ago, but just overall becoming a better person. We all deal with coworkers. We can deal with other people in our lives, friends that, they have different beliefs on things. Okay, cool. That's your belief. Hey, this is my belief. This is what I do. And I'm going to try my best to be the best person I can be. Starting with, either when it comes to working out, being there for my family, being there for friends, and just overall making the right choices. Because sometimes, man, we do make wrong decisions and choices, but, we grow from it. We learn from it. I don't really have any regrets. And it's like, we're still young, so we can still change the pace of what we need to do. So
you're talking to a guy that grew up in Christian private school from pre-K to 12th grade.
Yes.
So it always blew my mind how there would be kids, like real young kids that are like, you know, like Jesus this, and he's my Lord and Savior. And like, I accepted Jesus like as my Savior because an adult was like, this is how you don't go to hell, basically.
Yes.
And past that, I didn't really, it's just like, and then I remember, like, I'll never forget this. I was in 8th grade and we had chapel, and they were like, if you feel God leading you to come down to the altar and pray, like, come on down, whatever. And like, so-and-so will be down here and they'll lay hands on you and pray with you and all this stuff. And all these kids were going down there and they're crying and praying and all this stuff. And I just remember being like, why don't I feel whatever this is?
Yeah.
I just was like, I feel like if I'm going to like go down there and do that, I'm like acting. And I was like, why don't I feel this? Like, I don't feel whatever obviously they're feeling. I don't know if it was like, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But my point being is I never really landed, the idea never really landed until I got probably into my early 20s and started actually dealing with life and like realizing like, oh, you're not all that you think you are, and your ego is out of check, and and you get put into a corner and you're like, God, it's me again.
It's me again.
Yeah. But until that happened, until life like really started like, it was nothing crazy, but like when you're 13 years old, all you know is go to school, do your homework, play Madden, ride your bike, hang out. Like, there was no struggle. Like, I needed struggle to realize why I needed to have my faith in something bigger than me. That's what it is, struggle.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, around the time I was about to graduate from college, I was just having like an oh shit moment. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I had this degree, but I don't have a plan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So that was your first, like, oh man.
Very anxiety provoking.
Okay.
Yeah. And dude, just like applying for these jobs, and like I applied at Hydrochem, and they were like, yeah, we'll hire you, but you got to go to Connecticut for 6 months. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And I don't know. But it's crazy looking back how like I didn't have a plan, but I just had kind of like a I'll figure it out attitude.
Me too.
And I eventually figured it out.
Yeah.
At 26, I figured it out.
You did, man. That's crazy. 27 for me.
Yeah. Well, I got into real estate. I turned 27 and then like started real estate.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I guess but I started school at 26, real estate school.
Okay, cool. Well, you figured it out 26 because you were in school.
Yeah. But I'll never forget, I had this moment where I was, my mom had always told me, you should get your real estate license. And I was like, I don't even know what that means, but okay. And then I was working for my dad at our storage place, and I just had this moment where I was like, dude, like, I don't want to be the guy that just works for his parents. And I'm not really earning anything. I'm just out here just placeholding, and there's nothing really happening. Like, I'm wasting my life, like my potential rather. And I literally I'll never forget, I was in the driveway at our storages. It was so boring. I would just get up and just go walk around just to go get out like fresh air.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Got my phone out right there, got on Champion School of Real Estate, pulled my card out, paid for everything.
Yeah.
Boom, I was in.
That's awesome.
And I was like, all right, well, now I got to do it, I guess. And then like, I had no clue. I got through the school and then didn't even know where I was going to work. I knew one realtor, Mark Benoit, right there on Fairmont and Center Street. Yeah. Called him. He's like, yeah, come talk to me. Next thing you know, I'm signed up. I'm working there. Next thing you know, like 2 months later, I do a deal, and then that basically history from there. But had I never just had that moment where I was like, stop, get my phone out, sign up for the classes, because I was putting it off. I was like, I'll do it. Eventually I'll sign. Yep. And I was like, you know what? If I don't do it now, I'll just never do it.
Yep.
But I always think, and I tell Kelsey all the time, I'm like, had I not done it that day, there's a really good chance that I wouldn't have done it for another 6 or 8 months, and we may have never met, because I met her at Chicago Title on Center Street.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I would have probably never met my wife had I not done that day.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That is super crazy. Wow.
Like, it's like there's no way you can tell me that God didn't have like a plan there.
Yeah.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps. Bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, and then when you bring that to it's you got to be doing all the right things, and the right thing will come to you.
Yes.
That's just how it is. It's some crazy stuff. But real quick, side note, because we both grew up with great parents. And it's just a memory that always sticks with me. But I remember going to the just speaking because you were talking about, I didn't want to follow the guy working for my dad because I know your dad was just doing great. But I remember Wildcats, man, we were signing up, or my brother was signing up. I didn't play football, but I was there. Everybody's writing a check. Dude, I still remember it to this day. Don't ask me why. I remember your dad just pulls out a wad of cash, $100 bills. And I'm like, man, that dude got to have some money.
Dude, he just
as a kid, I'm like, dude, that is awesome.
Yeah. It was, I'm like, why? Like, you're going to get robbed. Like, he didn't care.
It's just, it is cool. Just place the $100 like that while everybody's writing their checks.
No, he like cash.
Yeah, he just boom, boom, and I'm out of here.
Yep.
I was like, that's baller right there. That's cool.
He's always been that guy.
That's cool, man. But yeah.
But all right, dude. So I got a couple. You had a great idea about asking some questions.
I did.
And these are some bangers in my opinion.
Man.
So they're tough. This one's the first one. After hearing you say some stuff earlier, it may not be as tough as I thought. But all right. Would you rather see the Yankees this year make a wild card run but lose in the ALDS? Or would you rather see the Astros repeat as World Series champs?
Ooh. Oh, man, I got to go the Yankees.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what
Yankees,
I thought.
For sure.
Even though they're losing in the ALDS and disappointing you.
Yeah. I got to go with the Yankees.
Because they have to make an improvement because they're last in the ALDS right now.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is very crazy.
All right. Number 2. Would you rather have dinner with 50 Cent and be good friends moving forward throughout the rest of your life, or have dinner with Gary Vee and gain knowledge that will make you millions of dollars for the rest of your life?
Oh, man, dude. Oh, what? Oh, this is when we need to take a shot. I can't answer. God, dude. Man, dude. Dang it. Me and 50 get to be friends for the rest of the man, dude, let's have lunch with 50.
So 50?
I'll find a way. Yeah, let's do 50.
All right. And then I'm going to change pace here and talk about the book I was telling you about yesterday.
Okay.
And I've asked myself these questions and I've answered it the same way I'm about to ask you, and the answer you're probably going to have. So
okay.
This is a book that I've been listening to, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. You drink alcohol, and you're not necessarily an alcoholic, and it's not like necessarily affecting your life in any specific way or your relationships, but you feel like it's just maybe holding you back a little bit. Like you're not reaching your full potential because, you work hard all week, and then, you have some stuff to catch up like around the house on the weekends or something, but you're hungover on Sunday and you don't quite get the laundry done or the dishes done, or you may not be able to make the time to hang out with your wife or the kids or whatever, the energy, because of alcohol. So the question is, and I got this straight from the book.
Okay.
Would you, stop alcohol completely or only drink when you really feel it's appropriate?
Only drink when I feel it's appropriate.
Okay. Yeah. And then would you rather drink when you feel it's appropriate or designate one day a week?
Designate one day a week.
Now this is out of the book, and this is the one that stumped me.
Okay. Would
you drink more or less than you currently do?
Oh, less. Less.
So why aren't you?
Because I have no reason to.
Dude,
but I'm doing great. I literally I posted that I have cut back on the alcohol, which I never was really ever bad on alcohol, but it's about one day a week.
Yeah, dude, because I just can't, I can't deal with the hangovers anymore. And like I said, I don't ever drink at the house by myself.
Me neither.
I'm a social drinker.
Yeah.
But that's the one that stumped me, where it was like, why aren't you? And I was like, damn. And then
it's hard
say if you have a guy that wants to be a smart ass, like, those buddies that lie to themselves and they're at the bar every day. It's like, would you drink more or less? More.
Yeah.
Well, then why aren't you drinking all day, every day, 24/7? And then the other thing, I think I may have told you this already, but people do like dry January or sober October.
Oh yeah.
And then it'd be like, what if I told you I was giving up bananas for October? You'd be like,
what?
Yeah. Like are you allergic to them?
Yeah.
Like if you just replace alcohol with something else, it makes it weird.
Yes.
It's like, did they make him sick? Or they like, is he allergic to him?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like, oh, I didn't know he was addicted to bananas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that
no, for sure.
Yeah.
Super weird. Are you a shot guy?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like I can do them, but I'm not going to be the guy that's like, we should get.
You're not the guy who's like shot. Okay, I'm not either. Somebody has to bring it up, then I'll eventually get it.
Because all I can think about is the pain I'm going to feel later.
Oh, you think? So you can't think about that.
But why? So that's the thing, though. Like alcohol has like brainwashed America.
It has
into thinking that drinking this it's poison.
Poison. It is poison. The devil's juice.
Like, dude, if you had okay, so like the next morning you're in pain, you have like that anxiety hangover feeling.
Yeah.
You're hurting yourself. Like,
yeah, for sure.
If you had a friend that kept like punching himself in the face to the point to where he was like black and blue, wouldn't you be like, dude, stop?
Oh yeah. No, for sure.
So what's the difference?
You're right.
Dude, it's just a cultural thing. And like,
yeah,
you have, different flavors of poison, like wine connoisseurs.
Oh man.
And we're going to get together and talk about this one has an oaky smell and this one has a buttery flavor. And it's so ingrained in America.
Yeah.
But why is that? Why is alcohol the one thing that causes, dude, like if you look at the statistics, like I heard that like 80% of murders, one of the people is drunk. Or something like that.
Oh, dude, with everything going wrong. Were they on drugs? Were they? You always, and it's always a yes.
Well, just think about when you wake up hungover, like very hungover.
Okay.
After a hard night.
Okay.
Say if you just chilled the night before, you're drinking water, eating watermelon, watching a movie, and you woke up and you felt like that. Oh, you'd be like, I'm dying. What's wrong? Yeah. But because we know it's like we're familiar with, it's a devil we know.
Yeah.
I don't know. This book just completely flipped my script.
Hey, that book's, I'm going to read it for sure.
Dude, it'll have you just telling yourself the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
So very, very interesting. It's called, what is this? I think
you sent me the screenshot.
Yeah. It's called.
You said you got the
Alan Carr's Quit Drinking Without Willpower.
Audiobook for like $15.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then they have one like quit smoking with no willpower, quit vaping, quit binge eating. Like it's just his way of like.
Cool. So he has like a series that okay, cool.
Yeah. So it like coaches you to say like, rather than like, oh, I'm missing out. It's like, oh, I'm just avoiding all the trouble and bullshit that comes with this.
Got you.
Yeah. So.
Got you.
But that's my 34-year-old take on stuff now. Isn't it funny how things change?
Dude, it is.
God, because, dude, I get Facebook memories now where from like 2010, 11, and 12, and I'm just like, oh, I delete.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. It's funny because you think things stay the same, and it's like, nope, things change.
Day to day, they feel like they stay the same, but like I could look back 3 years ago, and I'm like, everything is so different.
And I think what I'm getting better at is like knowing like, okay, I used to be like, oh, I hate the trends. I hate what these young people are doing. And now I'm like, okay, let me embrace what the young people are doing.
Yep.
Let me try and be as young as I can be.
And another thing, as I get older, I find where rather than trying to be everywhere all at once and being involved in everything, I really pick and choose where I'm putting my time.
Same.
Because, dude, you just like, you can't have a family and kids if you're like out doing everything all the time. You really have to get to a point where I know several people like this where like a buddy of mine, I'll just say my buddy Bobby, he built me this table, but he was a guy that he was, with a friend group, and he was going in a tech school for like the plants and stuff.
Yeah.
When he graduated, it was see you later. I'm about my career now. And got married. He has a kid now, but I've never seen someone just flip a switch and he's like building his life now. But in my mind, like that's what people don't understand. Like it takes sacrifice. Like I'm going to put all these fun things aside and grind my ass off and build a life. Cause dude, how many people's dads like around Pasadena do you know that are just like the guy that never really grew up?
Yeah.
You don't want to be that guy like at the bar by yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's sad.
No.
Dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
I don't want to be that guy either.
But Man, and then I'm not saying a lot of them made those decisions. Like sometimes life happens. Like, your wife leaves you and takes the kids and
takes the money, takes the house.
That's the gamble, though.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But all right, dude. Well, we are, let's see, hour and 9 minutes. All right. I think we only did like 30 minutes last time.
Yeah, for like about 40 something minutes.
Yeah. But anything else you want to add?
Yeah, man, real quick. And I'm gonna make it real quick. Forgot to add my top 5. So this is top 5 baseball players that I was growing up with, and we're gonna do a top 5 list. People, do not get mad. This is just who I grew up with, and I will give honorable mentions. But number 1, and I will explain. This is the most gangsterous shit I've ever seen in my life, and I grew up with him playing baseball. Number 1 baseball player that I've ever witnessed and been around was Joe Perez, and I will talk about a highlight moment. I remember me and my dad, we'd always draft him. You know Joe Perez. We'd always draft him in the South Houston, Little League or whatever. I remember he came, we were playing against him in a pony game. He had showed up an hour late. If you show up an hour late, the coach is going to tell you, hey, go home, sit the bench. Him being Joe Perez comes out. They're batting. He just comes in time. The leadoff hitter's batting. He was batting like 3rd or 4th. He comes up, hits a home run like nothing. I'm like, dude, this guy don't even show up to practice, or he doesn't even show up on time, but he'll just come up and hit a home run. Now, the biggest question mark on his career was he never really played in high school. And that's where you got to draw that big question mark, like, man, what if? Yeah. And we really don't know. But I'll rank him number 1 because I just never seen a player at his like status just do the things that he did. I mean, he was a home run hitter. He played catcher. He was just a great overall athlete when it came to baseball. My number 2 slot, I put Shane Hammaker in the number 2 slot.
Nice.
Yeah, the Shane Hammaker, man. He got drafted. I forgot who he got drafted by, but I know he went into the minors. I would put Shane Hammaker at number 1. The only reason I'm putting number 2 is just I thought Joe was just an incredible player. But Shane Hammaker was just the hardest thrower that I've ever seen when it came to pitching. He was tall. His power was there with hitting. He was just great. Number 3, I think you don't know who he was, but some other people in the Pasadena area probably do, was Brett Stewell, the first junk pitcher that I ever went against, and he was just crazy. Oh, you know what? No, I'm sorry. I'll put him at number 3. But anyways, Brett Stewell was a good hitter, good pitcher, and the first time I ever heard the word stud, I remember everyone was like, "Oh, he's a stud. He's a stud." I'm like, what does stud mean? So that was cool. Number 4, I put Chris Elkins at the number 4 slot. He was just...
I was with him at the Nugget last weekend.
Were you really?
He was randomly out there.
Oh, my God. That's crazy. Yeah. Small world. But he was a great athlete. Great fielder, great hitter. Like I said, tall. It always has to do with height. In the number 5, I would put... I put Casey Cooner in the number 5 slot. To this day, just being around, like, just, when you're around that age, like, little leaguer, dude, that's the greatest leadoff hitter that I've ever, like, witnessed. Like, when he was going off to, like, leadoff hit, you were always like, okay, he's going to get on 19 out of 20 times. And when he didn't get on, it's like, dude, you're supposed to get, like, we would
fast, and he was left-handed out of the box.
Left-handed, switch hitter. It was crazy. Great fielder, too, but, dude, when it came to his hitting, he was just phenomenal, dude.
I used to go watch the All-Star team, the Pony All-Star team, that 2000, dude, 5,
okay.
6.
Yeah.
Joe Perez was catcher.
Yeah.
I don't know if Brett Stowell was on that team. Casey Cooner, Joey Draper, John Matthews.
Yeah, John Matthews.
Chris Elkins, I think, was on that team.
Yeah.
Man, I can't. There's a couple other kids I can't remember, but yeah, because that's how I ever saw Casey. Whenever that's when I first ever knew who he was, because of going to those games.
The only thing that they say that kind of is just the only thing that I felt like he didn't have was just the height. I feel like if he would have been just a little bit taller, oh, dude, he would have been a fucking monster.
McFarland
was great. Yeah. I was always that was probably when it came to, I wouldn't put him in the top 5, but when it came into leadoff hitter, he was probably around like 2 I put Cooner ahead of him, but when it came to McFarland was a great leadoff hitter for sure. He was one of my favorite leadoff hitters, to be honest.
That 06 Memorial team, they were 2 years older than me, but they had some talent.
Oh,
dude.
for sure.
Adam Toller was really good.
Yeah.
Chris Dickerson and Scott Schaefer both had
Scott Schaefer, yeah.
I'll never forget one time I was playing summer ball and Dickerson was at short and I was at first and we were taking in and out. He threw a ball from like the fringe, like the shallow outfield to where the dirt and the outfield border each other, like deep short. He put a ball like this high off the ground. Yeah. And I heard it coming at me just, I was like, holy, like I'd never had someone at First Baptist. We didn't have that.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, wow. Okay. So that's how it is.
Yeah. And then the honorable mentions, I'll give 2, Travis Carter. You familiar with Travis Carter?
And for baseball?
Yeah.
Really? Because I always knew him as a football guy.
Yeah. Travis Carter. Are you thinking of Trey Carter?
No.
Travis
from
Carter.
Deer Park.
Yeah, Travis Carter. Yeah. Okay. So I put him in honorable mentions. The only reason why is I didn't grow up with him, but like I knew he was great in baseball. He was fast. I didn't grow up to him and just see him. But I would pick, and then I think this guy deserves to be in the top 5, but I can't really like put him in there. I'm just going to put him in as the overall athlete when it came to basketball, baseball, and what others, football was Dylan Adeback.
Yeah, I mean,
the dude was a beast.
Yeah, he's quarterback, pitcher, shortstop.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna put him out there. That's the best overall athlete that I'd seen. But other than that, man, that's my top 5.
But a lot of those guys, and where I missed out on that, like in high school, I wasn't very good. I just wasn't like a great athlete. Like I could hold my own, I guess, a little bit at First Baptist, but I was nothing special at all. A lot of these guys, like Travis and Shane especially, I feel like they were grown. They were the same size they are now at 11 or 12 years old.
One of my friends like, yeah, they hit puberty at 9, 10 years old. So.
See, I didn't really grow until my junior year. Like I was never full, like as tall as I am now until like almost my senior year.
Ain't that crazy, man?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then when I was speaking to Stu about the list, he's like, dude, you can't like be sure you name some people. I'm like, dude, I can't help it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, God wanted them to grow that way, so they grew that way. Yep. So, but yeah, that's about it, man.
Cool, dude. Well, thanks for coming on again. I guess we got to do it again in a year.
We'll do it again in sometime in 2024, man, for sure.
Yes, sir.
I'll be back up in the studio, so for sure.
Cool. All right, brother.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Yes, sir.